She said my daughter's wheelchair ruined the visual harmony of the neighborhood. Then one afternoon, she pulled a gun and shot my 12-year-old daughter on our own porch. What she didn't know was that I wasn't just some quiet dad with a toolbox and a mortgage. I was the man who trained SWAT teams to break tyrants. And that day, I didn't wait for the police. I was the damn police. Let me back up a sec. 3 months ago, I thought I'd found us peace. A little cul-de-sac just outside Raleigh, North Carolina. Fresh pavement, perfect hedges, and a silence so pure you could hear a squirrel breathe. After years of hospitals and rehab, all I wanted was for Ava, my daughter, to feel safe again. Like a kid. You know what I mean. But from the second we pulled into that driveway, something felt off. The way a man across the street waved too stiff, like a broken mannequin. The woman watering roses didn't lift her head, but I saw her eyes watching us through her bay window's reflection. And then, her. A platinum blonde bob, pressed blazer, and a clipboard clutched like it was a holy relic. She didn't smile, didn't wave, just snapped a photo of our car and walked back inside like a warning had been issued, and taped to our door that night. A welcome packet with laminated HOA rules, a color chart for trash bins, and a sticky note. Please review ramp compliance before Friday. Signed, Kendra Wallace, president of the HOA. I wanted to laugh, but something in my gut twisted old instincts I thought I buried in Kabul. Still, Ava was smiling, really smiling, so I stayed quiet. Over the next week, Kendra turned from odd to obsessive. She patrolled the sidewalk with that clipboard like it was a badge, clicked her pen at our aluminum ramp, took photos of our flower pots because apparently beige was one shade too bold. One night, I caught her filming Ava as she tried to roll along the sidewalk. For documentation, she claimed, in case your situation becomes disruptive. My jaw tightened. I'd faced cartel commanders and bomb-rigged courtyards. But this was a new kind of enemy. The HOA queen of quiet oppression and her kingdom. A manicured hellscape of passive aggression. Then came the lights. It was a week before my birthday. Ava wanted to surprise me, just a string of little purple stars taped to the porch railing. I thought it could feel like a party, she whispered. My heart cracked open. But guess who showed up, clacking heels on concrete like a countdown to chaos? Kendra stormed up the steps, her eyes locked on Ava like she was spray painting the Lincoln Memorial. What is this? She hissed. Birthday lights, I said, stepping in front of Ava. Purple violates Section 3A, she snapped. No vivid ornamentation without approval. She's 12. I growled. And this is a porch, not the Louvre. Her eyes twitched. This is how it starts. One rule broken, then another, then chaos. I stared hard. You're not protecting this neighborhood. Kendra, you're infecting it. She flinched, but didn't back down. 2 days later, it happened. I was slicing apples in the kitchen. Ava was outside, taping up the last strand of lights, her face glowing in the sunset. Then I heard the scream. Take that down, right now. I ran. Kendra was on the porch, finger pointed, venom spilling out of her mouth. She's violating code. She's decorating. I yelled, stepping between them. She's not special, Kendra spat. Just because she's in a damn wheelchair doesn't mean she gets to break rules. I froze. Something inside me snapped. Then she reached into her purse. Time fractured. I lunged, but not fast enough. 2 shots. Ava collapsed, ribbons slipping from her fingers, blood spreading across her white shirt like a red flower, blooming too fast. I dropped to my knees, caught her head before it hit the wood. Her breath was ragged, her body limp, her voice gone. And Kendra, she just stood there, gun trembling in her hand like it didn't belong to her. You shot my daughter. I roared. She Startled me, she stammered. I thought she was holding something. She was... Birthday lights. The neighbors spilled out phones up, mouths agape, but I didn't see any of it. All I saw was Ava's blood and Kendra's face. I stood, not as a neighbor, not as a father, as the man who trained men to end threats. I disarmed her with one move, pistol clattering on concrete. She turned to run. I grabbed her by the wrist, spun her into the gate, and zip-tied her hands behind her back before she could blink. "You're hurting me," she screamed. "You shot a child." I snapped. "Cry louder. See who helps you." I pulled my badge from my wallet, leaned in close, and said what I should have said day one. "I'm not your neighbor. I'm the man they send when negotiations fail." Then I ripped the HOA chain from her neck and dropped it on the concrete like a piece of rotting gold. Police arrived. I pointed to the gun. Shooters secured. Victims critical. Kendra tried to spin her story, called Ava disruptive. Said we were a problem family. Said I was military. I held up my credentials. "I'm SWAT." I said, "And you just shot the wrong kid." The trial was fast. The evidence overwhelming. The verdict guilty on all counts. But that wasn't the end. The floodgates opened. Neighbors came forward, stories of threats, fines, ramp complaints, mulch violations. One woman cried as she recalled how Kendra told her that her autistic son's swing set lowered neighborhood value. Another man said, "We thought ignoring her would keep the peace." But silence was complicity. Yeah, it was. 6 weeks later, Ava came home. The ramp stayed. The lights went back up. Every night, those purple stars glowed not in defiance, but as a quiet promise that this was still our porch, our home, our fortress. Ava looked at me one night and said, "Why do people hate what's different?" I swallowed hard. "Because it reminds them they're not in control. And some people can't live without control." She nodded. "But we're still here." "Yeah, kid," I said. "We are." So if you're watching this and thinking, that could never happen here, trust me, it already is. Maybe not with bullets, but with silence, with rules, with fear. You don't need a badge to stand up. You just need to decide you won't look away. If this story hit you, share it. Comment below. Was I right to take action, or did I go too far? Let's talk about it, because silence is where monsters thrive. And we're done being silent.